All right, this is number one of our constructed response. So we have three parts here. It's not multiple choice. And it says, in the figure below, a pole has two wires attached to it. So here's our pole. And then these are our two wires. There's one over there, one over here. And it says one on each side, forming two right triangles. So there's the box that we have for the right triangles. And it says, based on the given information, answer the questions below. How tall is the pole? Well, if I look at the right-hand side over here, I don't have enough information. I don't know the height of the pole. I don't know the base. I don't know the wire. I just don't know anything. So that's not where I'm going to start. I'm not going to start on that side. I'm going to look over on the other side where I do have a known measurement, that 34, and I have a known angle, the 41, and I know it's a right triangle. So I can use SOHCAHTOA, or trig, to figure that out. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the 41. I need the opposite. This is my unknown, so I'm going to call that x. I need x because I want to find out how tall the pole is. And I need to use my 34. So if I'm using the 41 for an angle measurement, I need the opposite over the adjacent. And remember, SOHCAHTOA, the only one that has opposite over adjacent is going to be tangent. So I'm going to use, whoa, come on, A. There we go. So I'm going to use tangent of 41. And make sure that you're in degree mode in your calculator. You need to be in degree mode. Your default is radian mode, so you have to make that change. So tangent of 41 equals the opposite, which is x, over 34. And now to solve for x, I'm just going to times 34, or multiply by 34 over here. 34 cancels, and 34 times tangent of 41 gives me approximately 29.56 is my x. And I can plug that in here, 29.56. All right, looks good. So we answered the first question, 29.56. We have our work to justify it. And now we're on the second question. I'm just going to call these 1, 2, and 3. So we've already said our first. Our second question says, how far from the base of the pole does wire 2, remember this is wire 2, attached to the ground? This is the ground. So how far from the base, that means the bottom in this case, so does the pole attach to wire 2 on the ground? So we're talking about this region right here. And I'm going to call that region Y. So we're trying to find Y, but now look at that triangle, this right triangle. We now have one of the measurements. We know how tall the pole is. So let's say I wanted to use the 38. I could pick this angle if I wanted. I just have to do 90 minus the 38. That would give me that angle. But I'm just going to go with what I'm given. So I'm going to use 38 degrees. So it's something of 38 degrees, and I need to incorporate my Y and my 29.56. In other words, the measurement I want and the measurement I have. So I could use opposite as Y over adjacent. So it looks like I'm using tangent yet again. So tangent of 38 degrees equals Y over 29.56. I could have used this angle like I said earlier. That one's 52 degrees because 90 minus 38 is 52. I could have used, in that case, it would be cosine of 52 would be adjacent over, actually that would be tangent yet again. Tangent of 52 because the hypotenuse is not involved. We would only use the hypotenuse, sine or cosine, if we wanted to find out Y or 2. So that would be another tangent. Anyway, so now to solve that, to get Y by itself, we multiply by 29.56 to both sides, so times 29.56. And our 29.56 cancel, and tangent of 38 times 29.56 gives us 23 23.09 for y. So I'm going to plug that in on my picture. That's 23.09. I'm going to answer that right here, 23.09. And this is all in feet. So I will put my units down. And that says, how long is wire 1 is my third question. Wire 1. Well, we already know 2 of these dimensions, so we could use sine or cosine if we wanted. But since we know 2 sides of a right triangle, we could also just use Pythagorean theorem. So I'll go ahead and do a Pythagorean theorem just to show you a different way. But like I said, you could do sine or cosine since you know both of those measurements, and it's a right triangle. So why don't I do... So I'm going to do 34 squared. So this is like my A, that is my B, and then this is my C. So I'm going to do 34 squared plus 29.56 squared equals, and I can just call that C squared for wire 1. And I just square those and add them up, and I'm going to get 2029.54 equals C squared. And to get rid of that squared, I'm just going to take the square root of each side. And C is going to be 45.05 feet. Alright, like I said, you could use sine and cosine. You should get that same answer if you didn't want to use Pythagorean theorem. Alright, so those are your 3 answers. And for this one, there's really no explanation. It just asks actual questions. So yeah, I know it's called constructed response, but you just need to have your work to back it up. All right.